Am I live? Of course I am. People, deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Good morning on this fine Sunday over here in the UK to all my UK folks. You know, while it's a good morning, it's even good morning to some of you in America, because I'm pretty sure throughout this, there'll be someone who's tuned in. You know, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. I hope you're doing well and safe. I hope you've all had a good week to you know, to move that much closer to your dreams, hopes and aspirations. And on this Sunday, I hope you're all jotting down your weekly targets and ready to hit next week aggressively and achieve your goals, people. As I said, good morning to you guys. I hope you're doing well and safe. I know Arsenal are still waiting for that illustrious first win of pre-season, you know, the pre-season that meant the whole world to Mikel Arteta and to a lot of us Arsenal fans, and rightly so. So we'll get onto it in a second, people. Good morning to you as well, A. I appreciate that. Omar, you're always in the live chat. I'm very appreciative. K, the same goes for you. Shout out to all the members in the Twitch gang out there. Please subscribe to me on Twitch, especially if you've got Amazon Prime. Deluded, Gooner, simple as that's in the name. Pardon me. Big up live from Planet X. About to drive home from my girl's house. Perfect timing. Appreciate that, man. You know, as long as if I can make that trip go further, is where it is. That guy said, I've got a semi-final today at 4:30. Try and win unlike Arsenal. That guy, I'm not sure. I assume it's football, but whatever sport you're playing, good luck, man. Bring it home. Get to the final, man. The job ain't done. You know, 180 minutes from glory, from a trophy. Go and bring it home, my guy. Go and bring it home. On behalf of everyone else, we're wishing you a lot of luck as well. G1, you got nothing to do with Arsenal. So like everyone, I'm very appreciative that you lock in all the time, man. Good morning to you as well, my guy. And you're right. It's a righteous Sunday. If I wasn't online right now, I'd be listening to my Jacure and just chilling off, really, man. You know, it's a nice Sunday, man. Again, I just keep speaking like you're in the UK. If you're not in the UK, then I obviously don't know what your weather's like, but it's a very nice day. And apparently there's talk of heat wave coming and all those sort of things. And as a someone who lives in England, you know that with that, there's going to come a period of rain. So you have to live it up while you can, really and truly, people, and do exactly that. I hope everyone's well and safe. Matt, I appreciate you as well. I appreciate you as well. I love the fact that you love the hard work, man. Omar, I've woke up, the day's nice. I've got my health. I've got, you know, a great supporters base like you lot. You know, it's 11:34 on a Sunday morning over here in the UK. 2 minutes in, 52 of you locked in, and I'm always appreciative. So, you know, I got no complaints, my guy. No complaints at all. My only complaints is obviously the weather's a madness, people. You know, UK heat's different, man. It's not like natural heat, like when you go back home or go on holiday, where it just feels like natural heat and there's a balance of shade. It just feels like in the UK, it's just heat, like it's just unnecessary heat. And then you've got the cars and the people, and it's just like, I don't know, it makes it hotter and it's just unbearable. It's uncomfortable, man. It's like stepping in a sauna. So 100%, but I'd rather it be sunny than rain, you know, to be fair with you. Exactly, not 1 ounce of wind. Humidity, that's the right word. It's not, you articulated perfectly. The humidity is nasty. That's it. That's exactly it. Tino, it's been a great week for me, man. You know, we've got some good views on the shows we've been doing. Like I said, man, I've conquered all the goals I've had for the week, so I can't really complain at all, man. FaVES, I hope you're talking sense. Arsenal are in talks with Rangers for Hagi, Fabrizio Romano. You're probably wassing, but let's see. I'm pretty sure we're not, but I can't lie to you. If you're lying, then you're gonna have to hold a block. I can't lie to you, man. You know, because we don't advocate spamming here. Let me see what Fabrizio Romano has said, bro. And I hope it was worth it. If you're spamming, I hope he was talking sense, because yeah, man, I don't think we're in talks for no Hagi, brother. I'm not sure he would make an impact at this club as well. So yeah, I can't see nothing in relation to Hagi. Maybe someone else can notify me on such, but I can't see that. So you're gonna have to go, my brother. Safe. I'm early for once. Exactly. He's 100% trolling, but you never know, man. You know, it gives us something to talk about. So yeah, man. You know, shout out to the trollers as well, man. You're early. You know, I guess Pornhub ain't got new content, man. I'm good, George. Like I keep saying, we're good. I'm good, man. Sakayo Baka. Oh my, we need to sign a world-class right back. I agree, but I think let's just find the right back who just does their job first and foremost, man, because you know a good right back will make a dramatic difference. To Lou, I appreciate that. Big up my G, keep grafting. Your videos are always lit. I appreciate that. Footy chats, I hope you're well and safe. And like he said, big up everybody locked in. Make sure you're hitting the like button, and I hope you're doing well and safe. Never small up myself, man. You're 100% right, man. You're 100% right. I don't know who DC is, my guy S. So DC, yo, anyone called DC? DC, message. Yeah, yo, there's no DC here, so I don't know for that. Shout the Twitch gang, Kimberly, very appreciative. And again, I don't always see when people have added me on Twitter, but I see you pointed me in the direction of a video. So I appreciate you trying to help and whatnot, man. Bro, what's your thoughts on 50 for Ben White versus 50 for Varane? What's the better deal? Well, for me, I'm going to say Varane, innit? Because Varane, household name and all of that sort of stuff. Obviously, longevity, resale value, all of that jazz you can point towards Ben White. But Varane's a household name, you know. Ben White will do well to have a fraction of his career. I'm not trying to be harsh to Ben White or praise Varane. I just think at least you can look at it with that angle. I'd rather get Varane. But on the basis of, you know, long-termism and things like that, you could point to the Ben White. Probably... Considering Varane's got a year left on his deal, I think it's fair, potentially overpaying. We're definitely, again, all I hope is that Ben White makes that price tag look small in it, but let's not beat around the bush. Sorry, we are overpaying. So two teams are probably overpaying. If I was to overpay, I'd probably go for Varane personally, but then there's resale value. I think, you know, I think United have got the better deal. I want us to be right, but I'd say United because, you know, Varane had a terrible Euros, and I think the last season has been terrible, but he's been around the block, and he's, you know, him and Maguire could be a 30 sign partnership. I'm not saying Ben White isn't going to be a good signing. I'm not saying he isn't a good player, but there's a lot of question marks I can't answer until I see him play, sort of thing. It's not even, you know, I don't think there's a debate. 50 for Varane is better, in my opinion. But hopefully we can just do our thing, man. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. I'm going to say, I'm pretty sure I was about to, I think I'm forgetting. It feels like I'm forgetting something, people. Like I was here to talk about something in particular, and I just mind's gone blank. I'm trying to find it. But yeah, moving away from all of that though, man, let's get into the big boy things, man. And that's it. One starting his adventure and the other one is at prime ends of their careers. You know, the best thing is for both of them is that they just justify the price tag, because obviously you already know the script that's going to be said with Varane. Why would he come to United? It's not the United it used to be. He was at Madrid. He's come for the money, this and that and the other. For Arsenal, if it doesn't go well, Ben White, you know, it's overpaying, leaving him exposed. So for both their sakes, I hope it works out, man. I would like to see Varane get his mojo back, because like I said, the Euros and the last season, I actually think for the last 18 months, he hasn't looked quite the same Varane. Now, I back him to get back to it. Obviously, he's going to have sometimes it just takes a change of environment. And I think he's going to fix up, because, again, change of environment, you know, his days are numbered in that. He used to be one of the young centre-halves. He's one of the oldest now, per se. So he's got to live every day like it's last. Obviously, you're buzzing when you play for a new club and things. And for me, anyways, if I'm Varane, yeah, I've won everything the game can offer me. But, bro, at some day, the light's just going to go out on my career. I'm going to finish a football match and there's no recovery session and play it next week. My career is done. So I would see that sense of urgency. And I hope Ben White is of the same. It's like, cool. I've done the Leeds loan. I've done the Peterborough. I've done the Newport. I've done a season at Brighton. I've been at Brighton since I was released from Southampton. I've now become, quote unquote, a man now, in that I'm ready to leave, not just Brighton, but the area of Brighton. And he's coming down to London. You know, he's 23 years of age. I'm pretty sure he must have moved out his family gaff already, but you get it. So I hope that leads to him buzzing. And for me, I would say the one thing you could say with Man United getting Varane and Arsenal getting Ben White, there's no similarities apart from the fact that they're centre-halves. But I would say when you look past the name and the fact that, you know, both teams probably needed a centre-half, you look at the managers, how are you going to get the best out of them? Because there's weaknesses in Varane's play. There's weaknesses in Ben White's. How are you going to hide those weaknesses, get better at those weaknesses and show what they're good at? And you can only do that with a system. I know Arteta always talks about pre-season and things, and I know with United there's talk of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he wants to do this attacking football thing, but we don't know what the systems are. And anytime there's not a system or a sort of clarity, it's always going to be on knife edge with players. It's always going to be bipolar performances and whatnot. But I've spent a long time on that. Interesting though, man. It is where it is, man. And people come for the bag. It's the realist, but you know, only in football only in life you can be motivated by money and the career. It's only in football. You want to make money, so you're not on playing football. Like, why can't man be on making mad money and cash and all of these sort of things and be serious? I don't know, man. Kaya said, Ben White and Gabriel and Tini is a solid foundation to expand upon 100%. Hopefully you throw into that Saliba to complicate things in a positive sense. By God's grace, there's a right back that lands and arrives at this club, and then we can take it all from there. But it is good foundations. But that's what I'm saying. It's like I always say, it's like growing crops, bro. It's like you could have the best seeds, you could be the best farmer, but you know, you need to make sure you're looking after that plot, that plot of land or them crops. You know, the best fertilizer. How many times are you watering it? Even the quality of water. You know, how are you adapting when the seasons are looking mad? Is it is it a rainy season? Is it a drought? And I look at that because you look at us. Arsenal been having United, Arsenal. Guys been having players with potential. We're going to have players that we talk about now, but we're going to have some in the future, and we've had some in the past. Potential is just potential. You've all got potential. I've got potential. My thing is realizing potential, you know. Again, you know, you've got a young squad, specifically Arsenal now. You've got Tavares. Again, not everyone's going to be the madman, first name on the team sheet, top shirt seller. Some guys there needs to be different roles within the squad. Certain people are just squad players. There's nothing wrong with having a hierarchy. But fundamentally, you know, we'll get onto Tavares because he scored in that. But, you know, he isn't going to ever, in my opinion, get Tierney's spot. But I want him to, because that makes Tierney have, you know, Tierney needs to, as good as I think Tierney is, he should be our captain. He's one of the best players we've signed. He's probably one of our best Emirates signings, and I love him. Yeah. You want him to have, I'm not saying he's Bellerin, but we saw how a lack of competition historically at Arsenal with Bellerin, how that's played. So at least if Tierney's on being serious anyways, and then he knows, he looks to his left, he sees a young, hungry ball around trying to take his spot, you're gonna fix up. I want the same at right back. I want the same at centre half. I want the same everywhere. And like I was saying with the foundations, Arteta's got to realize the potential, you know. Tavares, you know, different statures in the side and stuff, but you've got a young Tavares now, Smith Rowe, Saka, Martinelli, you know, Gabriel, Ben White allegedly coming, Saliba if he comes back next season, you know, and I'm pretty sure, you know, Balogun, who had a decent game, I felt, and I'm probably missing out a couple of others. How are you going to realize it? Because for me, if Ben White stays the same he's been at Brighton, that's a problem for us. He probably would, you know, because you can't spend 50 million on that. I want to see what, you know, how are you going to develop him? Because Ben White can't be silly. You know, if he signed for Arsenal, you have to have a conversation with Arteta. What are you trying to do with it? What are you trying to do as a manager? What are you trying to make this team about? What are your personal targets for this season and beyond? And, you know, Ben White would be stupid if he didn't ask Mikel Arteta, what do you think of me as a player? What do you think I'm good at? What do you think I'm bad at? What plans do you have for me? I'm 23. I'm going to sign a 5-year deal. How do you see me if you're here at the end of that deal? You know, because if I look at it, Ben White, you've had a season in the Prem. You know, you've had it, bro. You know, Rashford a spun bear, man. Every player gets spun in it. Like, it's football, in it. You know, you can't do the invincible thing. My thing with Ben White is, you've had a season in the Premier League, right? And it's been capped off. A couple seasons of good form has been capped off with going to the Euros. How do you push on? Because I'd ask myself, cool, I've been here for a season and I've been called up. In my second season, I want to go World Cup. I want to be the first name on the team sheet for England and country. I want to be, you know, I'm sure they must have spoke about Tony Adams. I want to be a bit of Tony Adams. I just want to be a better defender. So how are you going to take him to the next level? It's all of these things. And, you know, it's down to the players to work. It's not quite easy, but that's kind of what I want to see next season. I want to be able to look at players and say, evidently, you look better. I can cherry pick. I say Holding and Pepe. I think they've looked better under Mikel Arteta, but it's not really obvious cases. Like, I couldn't, like, if you lot knew nothing about Arsenal, I couldn't show you one season under one guy. I mean, one season under a previous manager and then the next one, sort of thing. So that's what I want to see a bit more, because I don't really think there's them evidence. I don't really see them sort of things there. So it is what it is. We're signing a good young base of squads. Obviously, Lokonga's coming in, but it's about realizing it. Like I said, whatever way we look at it, coaching is a big part of this. And pre-season, I would love to see some building blocks put in place, but we're going to get into all of that, people. I've been talking for 14 minutes, people. Let me get into what you lot are saying, but let me just make a timestamp. 00:14. How is Arteta going to improve Ben White? Is what it is, bro. Every player gets spanned, bro. Strikers get pocketed, wingers get spanned, wingers get pocketed, defenders get spanned. It's football, bro. You're playing at the elite level. Like, you're meant to be able to do that. And to be honest with you, I hope it did happen. I want Ben White to get spanned in the Arsenal shirt. Of course, I want him to play well. I want him to dominate. But how are you going to learn? A 23-year-old, if he comes to Arsenal and he keeps if he kept 38 clean sheets, that would be testament to us, but that ain't going to improve him. You know, you're only going to learn by getting spanned. And there's some top strikers in the Premier League. And at 23 years of age, you're not going to be the finished article. You know, everyone forgets. Someone we spoke about earlier, Varane. He's been through some tough moments as a young player. And that's what's, you know, that's what's going to improve you. If you're a young striker and you ain't played against proper good sides, you know, I can't really be rating your thing. If you're a defender and you've never been ripped as a young man, you ain't been playing good players, have you? You know, it's like Balogun. I want Balogun to score 20 league goals. I would love to have him up there with all them little young strikers in England and whatnot. But if he plays and he gets pocketed against Brentford, I can't be surprised. He's a young man developing. People need to be outside their comfort zones. Only then can you truly progress. But it is what it is, man. What else are you lot saying? DG, big up the Twitch gang. Please make sure you're subscribed on Twitch. Exclusive Q&A for Twitch subscribers and viewers and all of those sort of things to come. In fact, apologies. Well, from one Twitch guy to another, big up the Twitch gang because they're out here in full effect, man. What have you said? One True Villain has said, DG, I'm worried we're going into the new season with a midfield of Partey, El Nene, Lokonga and Willock. And knowing Arsenal, they'll probably send Willock on loan. It looks like Willock is going to Newcastle on loan, and there must be a plan in it. You don't let Xhaka go. You don't let Joe Willock allegedly go on loan. You know, you don't have this lack of speed over finding a resolution to make Lanau's future because he's been playing in midfield without something happening. And that concerns me as well, my guy, because them options are meaty. I hope two midfielders come in. I would love two 8.5s. If you can give me an 8.5 and a 10, I'm with it. But I can't blame you for being worried because the season is rapidly approaching us, really and truly. We're getting there quite quick. We're still in July, but you know, once we get over this Inter Milan game, and the other team we've got in America is Chelsea and Spurs, and then we're there. Like, we've got time, but it's what you do with your time, 100%, man. So it is something that concerns me. What else have we got? Dan Devon, I don't know why it's not let me bring up your thing, my guy, but you're saying, would you take you're saying what's your thoughts on Vieira, new Palace manager? You know, he's worked with young players before, he's been about sourcing them, so I think he's going to do well with them. I hope he does the best with Palace because obviously he's our man. I hope he takes a few of our players off us. You know, I'm keen to see what Elise and them players are on. I'm keen to see what Vieira is on week in, week out, because certain people are saying he should have overtaken Arteta. Now, away from Arteta, I just had my concerns about Vieira being Arsenal manager anyways, because you remember when Wenger left, he was linked with it. I want to learn a bit more about him, man. So it is where it is in that regards, Dan, man. Please don't spam, though. I've answered your question. K Swift, the legend, appreciate that. Would you take WARD-PROWSE? 27 estimated, then at least we would have a competent set piece taker. Yeah, I'd take WARD-PROWSE. I would take WARD-PROWSE. Bro, if I was manager, WARD-PROWSE plays for me for club and country. I can't cap to you lot. Like, I like WARD-PROWSE. He's one of them. I like them. He's not going to do... Well, he's an amazing set piece taker. He has a claim, I feel, to be one of the best specifically set piece takers in the Prem, maybe in the world. I like him because he's not, apart from that, he's not going to do anything major in terms of specifics. But I like him. He's consistent. He's a bit of, not a manager, but you know when you got someone that can micromanage, conduct things just street smart. I like WARD-PROWSE in that sense. He's consistent. He's going to give you 7 out of 10s minimum. 10 games, he'll give you 7 out of 10. He's English. I would take a chance on WARD-PROWSE. I would like WARD-PROWSE in the squad, really. I don't think he's amazing, but I think he's an amazing team player, if that makes sense. And with respect to Southampton, I think he deserves a bigger move and all of that. And I know Villa's onto him for 27 million. My instinct was thinking it's a bit excessive, but I would take WARD-PROWSE personally. I think WARD-PROWSE is a good player. I think WARD-PROWSE has the mentality that Arteta is seeking. And, you know, I'm not saying Declan Rice is or isn't better than him, but you could argue, and Calvin Phillips had a good tournament, but you could argue WARD-PROWSE definitely would have probably stepped up to take a penalty, but you could have argued he would have been a better option in midfield, you know. I don't know. Could you have, you know, WARD-PROWSE and Declan Rice versus Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice, WARD-PROWSE and Phillips versus Declan and Phillips? If you're not going to do what I would like to see, which you play a Henderson there or play Mount there, you know, I like WARD-PROWSE a lot, man. We should try for WARD-PROWSE, man. Really and truly, I like WARD-PROWSE, man. Don't know why no one's taking a captain mentality as well. Right age. Like, I like WARD-PROWSE, man. That's a shout still. That's a shout still. Shout to the Twitch gang, man. So yeah, it is what it is. What else are you guys saying? Big up DG. Hopefully this week we make some midfield signings. Hopefully, apparently Lokonga is going to be. We'll get onto it, but apparently Lokonga is going to be announced by. Well, the club is hoping by Wednesday because obviously we're flying to America, and you know any new signings that are spoke. You know, if you don't get that one, you'd hope we get him and Ben White over the line so they can go to America and do their little pre-season rather than probably training with our 23s to keep ticking over and some individual plans. Obviously, beyond that point, we're probably looking at that for other signings. So, you know, I don't know, the Hours, the Madisons, these guys that we're being linked with, whether we get them or not, is another thing. NY and Gabriel are too young for me. An experienced centre back would be important to guide them every now and again in games. That's what Pablo Marie, in my opinion, is for. Yes. And that's why I wanted a 26-year-old sort of bridge player, man, if that makes sense. Love Deluded Gooner. I appreciate the username and I appreciate the support, man. I appreciate the support, man. One love for that, man. Yo, TW, what are you saying, man? That's what I'm saying. He's just neat. That's the right word. WARD-PROWSE is just neat. Like sometimes you just need that. You know, you don't need nothing else really and truly. You just need him, you know, 7 out of 10. He's just going to do his job and just go home. As simple as that, man. I think we should move on from Locatelli since he'd rather stay at Swallow than come to Arsenal. Bro, we should have already. Why? Like I always say, it's like if you see a girl in a club and she's telling and you say hi and she says leave me alone and you're still looking about, you're moving like a crook. You're moving a bit weird. You're moving a bit mad. You know, just move on. There's plenty of others in the sea. You know, unless it's Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, and these sort of guys, it isn't the end of the world. I would love Locatelli here, but if he, you know, he might not see Arsenal as big enough. Arsenal might not be able to offer nothing. He might be thinking, who the hell is Arteta? He might actually have admiration for Arsenal, but he wants to stay at Juventus. He might just want to stay in his country. There could be a bag of reasons, positive or negative. Facts are the man don't want to sign here. Let's move on. Because what are we doing that for? To say we tried? Bidding for players we know we didn't, we know we couldn't get. To say we tried is dead. Is an 8.5 an attacking 8? Yeah, in a sense, but no, I'd say you look at most 8s at top teams, they're just standard, you know. You get Kevin, Gundogan, all these guys, they're more all-rounders now, if anything. But yeah, you could say that. You know, I think that's where the modern day is. And Jay's kind of answered your question, my guy, so I won't go over that as well. It is what it is. Can a back five be productive? You know, a back five can be productive, but a back 5-3, whatever, it's only as attacking as your manager wants to make it. And you lot already know where Arteta is in that regards. Out of the names you said in Tavares, Tierney, Gabriel, Ben White, I think Suarez would need to be clipped. Tavares would probably excel more in that, but I would like to play 4 at the back, which would probably mean Tavares would not get game time. That makes sense. No, I don't know how much Arteta does or doesn't have. And I wouldn't advocate going for Zaha without addressing all the areas we need. And plus, I would take Zaha, but do we need Zaha? I'm always open to taking good players, but do you need him? You'd have to answer that. So it is what it is in that regards. Please make sure you're hitting the like button and checking out the pinned message, people. I'll be back again at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. And also, I'm going to post my Twitch link, people. I would like Renato Sanchez as well. Do you think Arteta will last this season? How long's a piece of string, man? I think it can get very long, very gazy. If it goes wrong, Zaha would be your best player. I can't lie. I'm happy with Pepe. I'm happy with Saka. I'm happy with Martinelli. If Zaha comes, I'll be gassed. But I'd rather get some centre mids in. I'd rather address right back. You know, I'd rather get this Ben White one over the line. If there's any bread left, cool, do it. But yeah, man, I think we've got priorities elsewhere, man. That's just me personally, man. That's just me, man. What else is the Twitch gang saying? No, Twitch gang's quiet. Fair play, fair play. Subscribe to the Twitch if you haven't already. So yeah, it is what it is in that regards, people. What else are you guys saying? Would you be happy if Tammy Abraham is the replacement for Laka? It wouldn't be the end of the world. It'd be cool, but It's a bit of a madness, really. Yeah, that's just me. It's like Zaha, but I'll be gassed for Zaha. He's an Arsenal fan. He's a Londoner. You know, he's a good player. He's got the X factor. What I like about Zaha is he's got bravery. Most like he wants the ball in all situations. There's not too many of them at my club. Smith Rowe, Saka, Tierney. I might be harsh, and there might be a couple of. To be fair, Xhaka doesn't hide for all his problems, but he's not going to be an Arsenal player. I do think there's a fear, and I think Zaha always wants it. But same way, you know, where is that? Where is he going to play? You know. You know, on the left, you can play everywhere, but do I want to bring Zaha in? He can compete, but I'm kind of happy with Saka and Pepe. You know, up front, I don't know what's going to go on there, but I'll be open to it without a doubt, man. Who wouldn't? It's Zaha, for God's sake. Like, who wouldn't want that? Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. We're only at 86 likes. We must be able to grab 100. So yeah, moving away from that, let me set my timestamp, people. This whole preseason stuff. Now, on one hand, you know, it is only preseason, but I don't just think you can keep saying that, you know. Again, I'll get into it, but preseason is about building blocks, you know. Even if we had a great preseason, it doesn't mean we're going to have a great season. Preseason, I'm not expecting us to turn into a prime Barcelona, but I am expecting to see building blocks, because out of the quote-unquote top teams or typical top six, which technically we're not part of anymore because we didn't finish there, for the last 2 years, we need to put in the most work. And like I said, building blocks. Each game should have building blocks. What we did against Hibernian, how does that tie into Rangers? What we did against Rangers, what are we going to build upon from that into Milan? And then the next game, and then what, the Chelsea and Spurs, etc., etc. It's about building blocks. It's about, of course, fitness and not getting injured are the two things you hope for in every game. And I think we've been given 2 good physical tests against the 2 Scottish teams we played. But past that, while I don't want to panic, it does leave you with fear, because again, Arteta made a big song and dance, and yeah, we do have a lot of time. It's July, but it's what you do with the time. It's how you utilize your time. It's about, you know, what I wanted to see was, you know, hunger from a lot of these players, which I can't really see, clarity over what we're trying to do, building blocks and fighting for spaces. And it just feels like some of the players, not necessarily Arteta, but some of our players have had this lax mentality and laxed approach. And you do that against Brentford, who are going to be galvanized and gassed about being in the Prem. It's going to be a madness. And we all know our start to the season is not the kindest. For me, when I look at pre-season, the first thing that obviously concerns me is set pieces, because you could say we've improved defensively last year, and maybe even on set pieces, but the devil doesn't lie. The devil's in the details. Now, to be fair, apparently we've got a new set piece coach who arrives from Man City. He's got bloody hell a lot of work to do. It was concerning for me to see 3 similar goals. Obviously, the last one we conceded against Hibernian, and we conceded twice from set pieces yesterday against Rangers. Obviously, Carl Hines been in goal for 2 of them. Arthur Okonku's been in goal for 1 of them. And I look at the keeper. I do think in all them situations, the keeper needs to open his mouth a bit more. But then again, I look at our players, and no one's taking leadership. No one's taking any responsibility, especially for these young players. You know, everyone looks like headless chickens. Certain people are zonal marking, certain people are man marking. It's just a calamity. And you know, them exact goals, you see that in the league, because you saw that, what was it, last season against Southampton at home. So to concede those goals is quite upsetting, because we should be arresting that. If that happens against Inter Milan, there's an issue. Defensively, I shouldn't really have any question marks, really. I should be seeing building blocks. For me, again, tying into what I just said, senior players not taking control of situations. For me, I haven't seen much in terms of, it's only 2 games, like I said, but I haven't seen much in terms of building blocks, you know, little encouraging signs as to what we're trying to do. Like I said, I don't think we're going to be perfect. I think if we had preseason in the way I want it to be, you'd only see the fruits of the labor midway through the season or a couple of months. Like for all clubs, you're not going to see a madness, you know. It's about setting the foundations. It's about setting along that path. It's about starting as we mean to go on and things. I would like to see the players change mentality as well, but they haven't, you know. Instantly, we were doing the same things against Rangers, you know. We was laxed. They scored. We upped the ante a bit. We got the goal and we sat back again. And it's a bit crazy, man. And for me, while I don't think you should cry and panic and all of these sort of things, I don't think you can sit here and just say it's pre-season. It's just pre-season, because it is pre-season. We need to have a good season, or there's pressure for everyone. Pre-season isn't about being perfect. Like I said, it's about building blocks, and we haven't really seen such. And to be fair, against Rangers, we started off with a stronger 11. I want to see a bit more of that. I know pre-season is for fitness and everyone gets a game, but we need to kind of stop that, you know. Let's kind of focus on the players that are going to start this season and then, you know, a couple of these want away players on the bench, leave them out, let them do their thing, you know, because I can't see how Kolasinac, Willian, etc., just for example, to paint a couple names, not that they were the worst on the field yesterday, how that's going to help us, you know, build around the players that you've got. And like I said, it's what you do with your time, man. Fundamentally, every game should be about building on something. What we did against Hibernian, do you see what we did good and bad? Are we taking away the bad, looking at it and taking the good to Rangers? Did you see any building blocks that we built upon in that regards? You know, did you see, you know, are you going to see that when we go to America next week? Then in the two London derbies against Spurs and Chelsea, I'm not too sure in that regards. And for me, I can only go off Arteta because this was Arteta's comments in relation to pre-season before it. He said, when asked about pre-season, sorry people, let me block people. People are being silly. But the first thing is that we've got time. And we don't really have time. There's an illusion of time. It's what you do with your time, you know. And this is the thing with Arteta. I think he doesn't micromanage his time well enough. I think he's tried to do too much and done ultimately too little. We don't have time. You know, you don't have time. You know, you do not have time. You're fundamentally the manager, but it's pre-season. You know, you're going to spend a good bulk of pre-season telling players where they are, what they're good at, what they're bad at, who can leave, who can stay. You're probably going to be involved indirectly with negotiations and things. So you're going to have to delegate, you know, and then there's a bunch of other things to do. There isn't no time. You know, this is where our coaching staff and our collaborative effort from all facets of this club is so important, you know. Edu's ability to offload players and bring in players, and the speed and the ability he's able to do it can take the stress off Arteta and allow him to focus on coaching. For Arteta, he's got to delegate stuff. You know, sometimes it feels like he micromanages. We've got a new set piece coach, bro. He knows what he needs to go and do. You need to micromanage things. And you know, whenever Arteta is never going to have time to dedicate towards individual players, really. You know, he can't, as much as I say he's got to have, but you know, he's got to nurture potential. He can't do one-to-one sessions every day with just Smith Rowe because that's obviously going to cost Martinelli or the rest of the young players, people. So again, delegation is key. It's what you do with preseason. We haven't got time, so we need to utilize it. Not to mention, we've gone to Scotland, we've gone to America, and we're coming back to the UK, the place we started. So that even chunks into a bit of time. So again, I'm not too sure. And you've set yourself up because you've mentioned the big preseason we need. He said, the first is that we've got time, something we haven't had since I arrived here, to prepare a lot of things that are very necessary to develop. The second one, we chose Scotland. It was Kieran's advice, to be fair, and I think he was spot on. It's got everything that we need here. Wow, man like Kieran T. Are you telling me Kieran Tierney shouldn't be captain? Man's advising what we're doing and that. We are quiet, we are calm, we have really good facilities. We are not far from home, just in case something happens in this COVID world. It's been really good, and we could have 2 really good games to start our preparation. America is about going away. We know the brand, the club that we represent, and that's a global brand. We have to be there. We have to be close to our fans all over the world. And then obviously, again, that's another thing that's going to eat into our time. We've got a lot of, you know, we've got a lot of obligations to fulfill. That's a huge opportunity for us to do that. And we have our owners there that we can meet, meet and get close to the team, which is a really positive thing as well. Then we have a tournament that had everything we wanted: international teams, a Premier League team, and we can start to raise our level in preparation. When he was pressed on what he wants to work on in preseason, he said a few aspects. Obviously, the physical aspect is very important. After 5 weeks, the players need to get in good shape and the best possible condition to compete at the levels that the Premier League requires. Then mentally, we need to prepare the team with ideas that we have, with the values that we have, with the ambition that we want to take into the league. Third, to get cohesion of the team right, the understanding of the game, what we are looking for, our game model, our principles, and what we're going to develop that in the first 5 weeks to get to the Premier League in the best possible stage. So again, people, does that tell you, you know, like I said, we shouldn't be there all the way. We shouldn't be there overweight. But have you, based on the 2 games we've seen, have you seen building blocks? Have you seen just simply getting better at team cohesion? Have you seen, it looks like ideas have been passed on? The physical thing's been there. Yeah, like I said, there's been a physically we've had to do a lot in it. Like, it's against Rangers and Hibernian, they've been good physical tests. So there it is what it is, but it's about building blocks. Now, once again, I stress, we're still in July. It's only 2 games in, but it's about building blocks. I'm not expecting us to be Barcelona. I'm actually probably, even if you have preseason and it goes the best way, I'm only expecting to see real benefits September, October, beyond times, really, because that's when everything will click, because we won't be fit all the time. Players won't be 100% knowing the tactics, but it's about building blocks. It's about a base. I keep saying the same words because I really want to drum it home. That was actually Mikel Arteta's thoughts before the game. After the game, obviously, You know, on the we'll get onto Tavares, but on the performance, he said, I'm really pleased with the performance. We dominated the game. We created so many chances. I counted about 8 or 10 clear chances to score. AUBAMEYANG didn't have his goal scoring boots, but we didn't do enough. But this game is decided in both boxes. We weren't clinical in the opponent's box. I mean, we said that all season. It shouldn't be said in preseason. And we conceded 2 goals from corners, which were the only chances they had apart from counter-attack from our own corner. And again, it sounds like the language from last season. It's like, it doesn't matter if they only had 2 chances. They've taken them. It doesn't matter if we were the dominant team, because we really need to understand it's a football game. And I think Arteta, based on the terminology, is yet to fully take heed of that, which is concerning, because you've played the game and have insight in the game more than we might already have. It's much better from the other day, and you can tell that physically we're already better in the second game. That's true. The organization was better, slightly true. Individually, they played better. Same old, same old. Couple look better than others. But I really like the collective understanding of the game and how we executed a lot of things we've been working on in the training pitch. Fair play if that's how you feel, but to the fans, I can't really see a significant difference from the Hibernian or Rangers game. On how promising this is, it's been really good. We've created so many chances, but we are not converting enough. Today, we should have scored many more goals, and with the quality of the players we have up front, they have to demand much more of themselves. That's facts. That's facts. But again, Arteta, you're the gaffer. You know, it does seem like there's an air of comfortability here, and that comes down to the gaffer to a degree. You're playing certain players that are not having futures here. It does look like people are going through the motions, and I'd say the whole team, the last 2 games, they shouldn't have the mentality that it's only a game of pre-season. Hibernian and Rangers never had that, and I think we need to get that out of us. But at least we are getting there. The process is becoming much clearer, much better without the ball as well. I'm not sure, because the pressing ain't coordinated. To be fair, if the team isn't fully fit, how good can we really work on pressing? We worked really hard and we were really efficient. No, we wasn't. We won a lot of balls in the final third, so there are a lot of positives to take. I mean, there's not even positives. There should be standards. We should win a lot of balls in the box. You know, we should work well off the ball. We should be efficient, because this is what happens with teams that are in Europe and things like that. So I'm not too sure of that, people. He praised Tavares. He said a great debut with his right foot as well. He's only been with us a few days, but you can already see his qualities, his physicality, and then the quality on the ball that he has. He's integrating with the lads really well, so it's a great start. And how he reflects on our time in Scotland, I think it was perfect. The weather was something that we didn't expect. I think Kieran Tierney's been really helpful with that. And I think the way we've been treated by the hotel, the staff, the facilities, I think it's been a really positive camp. He spoke about, big up to the Rangers fans and returning to the Ibrox and things like that. On the key objectives in Florida, he said, now a little bit of recovery. We've trained really hard, played 2 games, and now we're going to be traveling to America in the next week. So obviously, he's right. We do need recovery. We are still working our way back. Sometimes when you're just coming back from training after being off for 5 weeks, you can see little injuries picked up. Sadly, Defoe picked up one for Rangers. So it is about recovery. Obviously, the time on the plane does worry you. There's going to be a bit of that. We're flying out on Wednesday. We played on Saturday. There'll be a recovery today on Sunday. We probably will get a couple of training sessions in before we go and travel to America. So I don't know again, there's no time. There is no time, because again, you've got a recovery session today. You probably got to get certain things in place for Monday and Tuesday, and then you're flying out on Wednesday. Jet lag. I'm not sure they're going to train on Wednesday. They might not even train early on the Thursday. So pre-season, there is a lot of time, but when you start breaking things down, what you do with your time is even more vital. And I'm not going to lie, I'm still concerned, but when I see several things that have changed a bit, for instance, Saliba isn't waffling here for wallowing away, but here for 6 months. He's gone out on loan. A couple of decisions have been made. What we need to do is probably trim the squad down a bit more. What I want to see with Arteta, with the players that are here, that you are going to use, can you kind of be selfish and focus on them? Focus on that 11/25 man squad. Anyone else, they don't really need to be about. Certain people, certain first teamers, Willian and Kolasinac, I think they should be left behind and not go to America so they can sort out their futures. But realistically, they are going to fly. Please make sure you've hit the like button, people. So it's only pre-season, but there are still some concerns, people. There's a lot we need to build upon, really and truly, if I'm completely honest with you, people. So make of that what you will. Please make sure you've hit the like button. On that topic as well, people, just quickly, because we're here, we might as well finish it. If we might as well finish it. We might as well offer some opinions about the Rangers game at length. Now, obviously, when I scroll down, folks, that's of nothing there. That's of nothing. When I look at this game and I put my thoughts down, folks, just for you guys, I would say first thought, Nobody injured, so positive, you know. And it's two cheap goals from set pieces, 3 in 2 games in 2 games pattern, which is concerning, I would say. You know, I think Tavares looked good. We'll focus on Tavares in a bit. I think Balogun worked well. Balogun worked very well. And I think with Balogun, he's doing you know what it is with Balogun? The goals will come, whether he has a future at Arsenal or somewhere else or does whatever. I think the goals will come because I always look at what you're doing. He's doing the right things. He's dropping deep at the right times. He's working the last man's shoulder at the right times. He's physically holding up the ball well. He's pressing. Obviously, with Balogun, you just want to see the decision making improve a bit better, when to pass, when to shoot. Things you would expect of a young man that ain't got 10 senior games to him. So I would say he's worked well. He's done the right thing. Obviously, the key I would say for Balogun, because I see it when young players come through. I'm not saying anything bad about Balogun, but he's enthusiastic, and a lot of that is carrying him through. Right now, you've got it, but haven't got it. When you've got it and you're like what Joe and Eddie went through and that they're part of the first team, are you going to keep up this enthusiasm? That's the question for me to him, you know, because he's doing the right things. Physically, he looks a bit better as well. Obviously, Tavares, let's be real, wasn't asked any questions of defensively, so we haven't learned a lot about him. And I think with Tavares, he needs to improve defensively. He needs to improve 1v1 and all the necessary things. You see that at Benfica. We're probably going to have to concede that unless that happens, he's probably a bit better going forward than defensively. And that's not to say he's shaky defensively. He just looks like that. I mean, it's a good goal with his right foot. He made a positive start. He put himself around. He opened his mouth. I don't know if there's a language barrier issue, but he doesn't seem scared to open his mouth and talk to his teammates. These sort of things guide me into your mentality. You know, he does like to get forward. You know, again, you want to see him tested a bit more and see how good he is 1v1, marking the space and all of that. But this one, people be kidding themselves if you learn a lot, if you say you learn anything about Tavares against Rangers. You know, shout out to him for getting his debut goal and whatnot, and good mentality. He's been training for a few days and he's done his thing. So yeah, I think Tavares did his thing. I think Balogun looked good. Pardon me, I can't really have any concerns. My concerns are the goals we scored, the fact that we had to go 2 down. Yeah, there was fight, desire, mentality to get back in the game of sorts, but we're letting ourselves down with set pieces, first team keepers or not, because you look at it and even just the sequences of play, like it weren't a set piece. And after Okonku's mistake, obviously he's made the mistake. He has to pay for it. And Harry Clark, I'm not really getting at him because it happens. You're either going to win or lose a header, but he's missed a header. Cedric Suarez is bugging out, and I think Cedric Suarez looks very concerning in preseason. Is bugging out, and then Arthur's made the mistake. Now, I'm not saying you should allow Arthur and blame other people. I don't want any of them to be blamed. My thing is this: the goals we're conceding, they're poor sequences of play. Without a doubt, they're poor sequences of play. Like they're extremely poor sequences of play, and it's not helping. It's not helping anyone. You know, we're not reading it. So I haven't learned a lot about our intelligence and our street smartness and things like that. Partey looks good and looks fit as well. And then obviously, you know, Aubameyang should have had 3 goals. We should have scored away from that. But Aubameyang just looks too nonchalant. He's working well. He's getting involved, but he was too nonchalant yesterday. And like someone said there, bro, Tavares' finishing was way better than Aubameyang's. And you know, I'm getting to, you know, we have to consider what happens if Aubameyang doesn't get back to goal scoring ways. Really, what we're gonna do in that factor and what we're gonna do, because if Aubameyang does not get back to scoring goals, then we're gonna be in some serious problems. And then you've got Lacazette, who's probably gonna have to be the first choice in that case. You don't know what you're going to get with him. You don't know how. The thing is, how do you move on Aubameyang? He's on big money and he's playing woeful. You'd have Lacazette at least for another year. You're hoping Balogun, Martinelli can step up. You're hoping the club have started scouting strikers from 2 years ago and whatnot. But I can't lie, I am starting to consider you know, me, I think Aubameyang's going to get back to goal scoring ways. I think he's going to do his thing. I really do. I really think he's going to get back to goal scoring ways and get his mojo back this season. But same way, I'm not going to lie, without being reactionary, that game, it did make me think, right, it's better he does it now than in the real season. But it's like, do we have to consider a reality where Aubameyang, you know, he isn't going to get back to goal scoring ways? That's just gonna be him. I'm not too sure in that regards, people. What's gonna happen really? Because sorry, people. Wait, what should we do? Should we say? Because when I look at Aubameyang, like I said with Aubameyang, like we might as well talk about it here as well, folks. Let's go over that again. Let's focus specifically on Aubameyang. Hit the like button now. For me, as I just said, people, I think he's going to get back into goal scoring ways. I think he's going to find the back of the net. I am prepared to give him the luxury that he hasn't. You know, we don't create mass chances, and he's been overperforming in that regards for a while. It's only been one poor season, and as poor as he's been, not one single attacking player has excelled from game 1 to game 38. You know, Pepe and Lacazette, they found themselves, but I'll give him that. You know, hopefully with a 10, a number 8, you know, better coaching and tactics from Martinelli, from Arteta, we'll get the best out of our midfielders who come in. That means we'll get the best out of Smith Rowe, which means we'll get the best out of Aubameyang, etc., etc. You know, I think Aubameyang's heavily service reliant. We don't create service, so he's not going to score. So I do think he's going to get back into goal scoring ways. And one thing that gives me confidence, while he's been nothing to scream and shout about in these 2 games in Scotland, he is kind of doing the right things. The movements there, he's involved. But same way, let's be real, the chances he's missing are poor. And we know what Aubameyang lacks with general play and stuff he makes with being a good goal scorer. Even when he misses these tap-ins, they're concerning. But let's be real, even when Aubameyang is having them great goal scoring seasons, he still misses these clangers. You know, he's known to miss we all know he'll miss a tap-in and then score again. But what if he doesn't get back into goal scoring ways? While I want to think positive and I think he is going to score goals and he is going to do his thing, I have to consider it. You know, as much as Aubameyang's game is service reliant, I don't think he necessarily needs to use his pace to score goals. He's got good movement, but if he isn't going to score goals, then he's got no relevance in the team. You know, like I said, Arteta recognizes he needs him because he's played him through the middle, but every day of the week, he'd prefer to play him off that left. He doesn't really rate. I wouldn't say, it's not that he doesn't rate Lacazette, Aubameyang or Nketiah. He's got an appreciation for all of their abilities, but there's something not allowing either to be the top one. So obviously, if Aubameyang doesn't get back into goal scoring ways, we're in problems, people. I don't mind, you know, it's better he misses now than in the real season, and I do think he'll get back. But if he doesn't, then we've got an elephant in the room because he plays off the left. Do you really want to disrupt Saka? Do you really want to disrupt Saka and Pepe's progress? You know, Martinelli needs to get some minutes through the middle. I'm not sure. For me, I still think like Aubameyang's body language looks positive and things like that, but we haven't got times to carry him. And obviously, if it's a case of he needs to be a squad player and stuff, then you're hoping he can turn into this super sub or whatnot, because it'd be difficult to move him on because you know, the one thing you could give him is that he scores goals. If you're not scoring goals, if you're on big money, and like I said, scoring goals is one thing, but he doesn't offer much beyond that. His general play is way better than people give him credit for, but it's meaty. So you've got an elephant in the room, and that's already with, on paper, Kolasinac, Willian on paper contracted, you know. So again, it's looking a bit dodgy. But I back Lacazette to get back. I mean, Aubameyang to get back into goal scoring ways this season. But I'm not gonna lie to you, it is concerning that the chances he missed, people. It is a bit woeful in that regards. But it is what it is. If he doesn't, then you know, it's got to be Project Martinelli, because you always got to look at it. You know, Lacazette, as much as I rate Lacazette and stuff like that, he shouldn't be the top striker. You know, if Aubameyang shouldn't really be our top striker, but he scores 20 league goals. We need someone who can do a bit of both. But suddenly, if Lacazette is going through his woeful form, if Aubameyang is going through his woeful form, who gets the looking? Because you know, Arteta hasn't shown me that in times of adversity he'll throw in a couple of young players if the experienced ones aren't really doing it. You know, so again, I would like to know. That would mean chances for Balogun and obviously Martinelli, but I'm not even too sure, really and truly. Let's just hope that we don't have to get to it, but we can't afford to carry Lacazette again. And I hope we've got I hope we've got a plan, really and truly. If Aubameyang doesn't get back to goal scoring ways, don't get twisted. We need to do everything within our power to enable him to get back. But we haven't got time to carry anyone this season. Anyone who isn't in form, we stand by him and whatnot, but we haven't got time to carry them. We literally can't. We need to carry ourselves. You know, anyone that's not with it. And the minute Aubameyang signed the new deal, we should have been looking for a new striker anyways. And, you know, what I hope happens with Aubameyang is that naturally, his importance in the team, not his goal scoring, but his importance in the team filters away, because like I said, we should be training Balogun, Martinelli, whoever, so that Aubameyang can go from being a first name on the team sheet to almost a squad player, a super sub and whatnot. Because as I said, Aubameyang's here for the present. He's here for the present. He's not here for the future. What can we do to so he can be used in the in the present to enable us for the future? You know, that's how I'm kind of looking at it. So if he, you know, if Martinelli and Balogun can step up and whatnot, obviously it takes the pressure off. I think that's where Arteta needs to give them two young lads chances, because I do think we would have to bring in a striker if Lacazette and Aubameyang leave when they do leave. But they could save us a bit of peas, really and truly. You know, so we're gonna have to see. And obviously, if Lacazette isn't scoring, Aubameyang isn't scoring, we're in problems. And as much as we talk about Aubameyang's lack of goals and how great Lacazette's season's been, I'm not criticizing either of them. It shows you the level between the two of them, because, you know, to say he got 10 goals is laughable, but in all comps, he's only three. I think he was only three off Lacazette in Premier League statistics. I'm sure, people. So again, there is gonna, in the next 18 months, we do have to probably revisit what we're doing with our strikers. But if we go down here quickly, folks, obviously we know Aubameyang's pedigree. Sorry, folks, where is it? You know, 64 Premier League goals already, man. It's crazy. But here we have it. Like, where is it, man? Where's the last season? Sorry, folks. If we look at last season statistics for Aubameyang, look, obviously he got 15 in all comps, 15 in 39. So again, even on a woeful season, it's terrible, but it's not the worst. There's still something in there, man. You know, at 32, this is a reality that Arsenal had to consider when we signed that deal. And for me, we kept him because we needed him, but we should have moved our importance away. We haven't quite learned from relying on an aging Koscielny. We haven't learned from relying on an aging David Luiz, really. You know, we need to learn in that regards, people. You know, let's find Lacazette. Now you look at Lacazette, you had the best season ever, according to some. You know, again, I'm not using that to criticize him. It's just both. We probably need to address this situation. Shout out to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I mean, Lacazette's only on 50. Overall balance. I want to see. Remember, Aubameyang, sorry, got 15 in all comps, 10 in the league. And Lacazette got 30. Look, he's only 3 off. And a season where Aubameyang was dropped, you know, banned for, dropped from the Spurs game, had malaria, all these things. He's only 3 off Lacazette. Lacazette, best thing since sliced bread this season, 13 and 31, which isn't even his best goal scoring season. My point is not to criticize Lacazette or Aubameyang. I love them both, but there's a serious elephant in the room, and it would be Arsenal to, you know, we're crying about creativity, you know, find the 10 and then we won't have the strikers, or we have the strikers like we've had and then we're not playing our 10s, or we sign a left-sided centre back, we haven't got a right-sided, we got a good left back, we ain't got a shaky right back. You know, we've got a lot of things we've got a lot of things in that regard. So we're gonna have to see what happens, but it's an elephant in the room we should have addressed. You know, we should have known the minute Aubameyang was signing his new deal when he was going to be moved on, how he was going to be moved on, and who was going to replace him. You know, I hope Arsenal have a target where they've been looking at him for a couple of years. You know, the year Aubameyang signed the deal, okay, you aren't really ready. Now we're going to look at you this season, and next season he's ready. So it's an elephant in the room we have to address, and one that we have to take very seriously. I think he'll get back to goal scoring ways, but it does concern me and it does scare me, people. I'm not going to sit here and cap. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. That's that. Tavares debut reaction. Balogun will be that. And delete that. Thumbnails. Man said thumbnails. Timestamps coming together quite positively. I don't know why I still got these here. They don't need to be here. That's that. If we flick over, please make sure you're supporting the thing on Twitch, people. Big up the 266 odd of you locked in. Are we at 100 likes yet? Surely, man. Shout out the Twitch gang. What have we got here, man? Well, Twitch gang's gone quite quiet now. Big up the real Gooner era. Bless up DG. You set the pace for the day with these 6:30 videos. Stay sharp, my guy. Appreciate that, man. Kimberly said, can you share more of your thoughts on the future captaincy, please? as much as I can, I think it's Kieran Tierney. You know, I think there'll obviously be other people that rise. Like, I wouldn't give him the captaincy per se, but I think Callum Chambers. I'm not Callum Chambers, sorry. Rob Holding shows good leadership qualities. It's Kieran Tierney, man. The way Tierney conducts himself, the way he, trains, the way he plays the way he trains. Tierney's the undoubted captain for me. That's the only sort of thing. But same way, I want Gabriel to become a leader, Saka to become a leader, Smith Rowe to become a leader. I don't want to see us. I don't want to know who Arsenal's captain is. When you look at the Invincibles, of course you know who their captain is. But could you really tell me you could pick a captain between Vieira, Henry, Bergkamp, Sol Campbell, etc., etc.? The armband is just an extra added. Leanne's Lehman. Not that I want to praise him for his antics. It's all of them ones there, really. That's how I'd be looking at it. There's that. That's done. If we actually look at Lokonga quickly, people, what's the minute? 55-30. So yeah, Lokonga seems like he'll be completing the move next week, and hopefully Ben White as well. I don't know this, but I hope that it's done at the same time, folks, purely because both of them have every chance of going to America and things. Arsenal hope to seal 18 million move for Albert Sambi Lokonga before jetting out to Florida for US camps as Mikel Arteta's side step up pre-season preparations after Scotland trip. Arsenal hope to complete the 18 million signing of the Anderlecht midfielder in time to fly out for him to fly out with the team to go to Florida on Wednesday. Apparently, Arteta did not comment on the impending arrival of Ben White, who will complete his switch after his post-Euros holiday, which he probably misses out going to America. He said, Arteta actually said, we're going to have some new faces arriving probably, so it's very positive. That's as good as you've got with him. Obviously, we know Eddie Nketiah did score against us, people, so there's hopefully he's put himself into the shop window. Let's see if Mikel Arteta said anything else specifically. Everyone's going over the same thing. What's this? Arsenal's overhaul. Mikel Arteta eyes 5 new targets, including Sheffield United's Aaron Ramsdale, Norwich City's Max Aarons, as he looks to continue push. As he looks to push for top 4 finish next season. We're always linked with Max Aarons. Can there actually be some substance to it, people? I'm not too sure Aaron Ramsdale is the right choice. And if it was the right choice for him, you're in the England squad on the technicality. Are you going to be closer to Southgate's thinking being Arsenal's second choice? I don't know, people. According to The Athletic, Arteta is looking to add an additional goalkeeper to his squad and has named Ramsdale as a potential target. Having conceded 39 goals in 38 games in the previous campaign, Arteta believes Ramsdale's shot-stopping qualities could benefit the Gunners next term. Okay. Let's see. Apparently, we want to write back if Bellerin leaves. Where again, we'll get on to Bellerin, but apparently the Inter Milan chief has spoken. People, Max Aarons is understood to be the likely choice. However, Arsenal will face stiff competition from rivals Tottenham for his signature. And obviously, we've tried to buy Buendia, so we know how they like to work. We know how they like to structure deals. You know that. And Max Aarons, I'm not saying he'll be expensive or cheap, but you have to pay Norwich's terms or you will not get the player. It's as simple as that. The reporter still said we're looking at Ruben Neves. Apparently, Edu's been in talks with George Mendes to try and get a deal sorted. Can we just get Xhaka to leave and then we could see some more things going on with outgoings? It's crazy. Shout out to Saka for trying golf. The young man can do a lot of things. Golf isn't one of them. So we'll have to see. And obviously, we hope Smith Rowe signs a new deal. So it doesn't seem like there's anything new there. So Arteta said we're going to see some new arrivals. Hopefully that rings true. Lokonga on Wednesday. New faces. That's that. And we'll clip that and call it 58-43. There we have it. Max Aarons is quality, man. And there's a lot to build upon, but I don't know for that one, man. I don't know for that one. For what it's worth as well, allegedly, folks, Reiss Nelson knows where he wants to leave and go to, apparently. Well, for what it's worth, apparently Brighton, if I find it, Brighton have said, well, people connected to Brighton or people who know what they're talking about say Brighton have no interest in Reiss Nelson. But I'm sure some of you have seen yesterday, he liked a post regarding such people. But Andy Taylor, he works for the Athletic, as you lot can see there, people, has said, in relation to Ben White's move to Arsenal, lots of reports have linked Brighton with Reiss Nelson. They have no interest in the Arsenal forward, or for that matter, Barcelona's Martin Braithwaite. So it looks like we might not be getting him. But for what it's worth, people, as you lot can see here, you know, either Nelson knows something we don't, or he finds it humorous. Arsenal starlet Reiss Nelson, 21, drops hint after liking Instagram post linking him with Brighton transfer. Reiss Nelson appeared to drop a hint over his future by liking an Instagram post linking him with a transfer to Brighton. As you lot know, the 21-year-old hasn't quite had the season or life at Arsenal we thought he would have had under Mikel Arteta. He made just 8 first-team appearances last year, no Premier League starts, and played about 70-odd minutes of such, people. You know, apparently, as you lot saw, he's not going there, but apparently he's liked it on Insta. For me, he needs to get football. I would like to see him stay. You know, hopefully Nelson stays and gets some game time, you know, or gets the minutes Willian has. But if I'm him, he probably needs to go out on loan or leave permanently. For us, we've sold ourselves short because we've left it late to offer him a new deal. We should have offered it to him last season, where if it's come to a season where we think he's not going to quite hit the heights, move him on and get a respectable fee. He can depart this club for free. And I can't blame Nelson, because there is clearly a lot that he needs to improve as to why it hasn't happened. But I just feel he's worked very hard. He's just not been given an opportunity, and it's just time to move on, really and truly. It's just really time to move on. But again, like I said, for what it's worth, he might not be going Brighton, but he's been linked with Brighton, Brentford, Crystal Palace, Olympiacos. His future will rumble on and 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 on. So we'll have to see what happens with Reiss Nelson. But in relation to that, he seems to find at least the funny side to it, or he knows something that the majority of us do not. But it is what it is in that regards. What are you guys saying? Please make sure you're hitting the like button and following the thing on Twitch. One sec, I see an interesting comment. Sorry, folks. I see an interesting comment, and I always question what's been told to me. I either going to rate him or say, you're looking a bit shaky there, bro. But I welcome opinions. Let me scroll down on the good old transfer mark. Make sure you're hitting that like button, people, if you haven't, and you're subscribing on Twitch. And again, getting your Q&A questions sorted. There'll be a Q&A show next week specifically for Twitch, people. So, yeah, if you're not a member, and I know you've been missing out on the Q&A questions and whatnot, make sure you're there, innit? Simple as that. Let me go. I want to see how many starts Willian made for Arsenal Football Club, because someone said it was a myth him start. Obviously, Willian did get dropped at a point, but he only got rubbed out when it became abundantly clear, man. To be fair, a grand total of 37 appearances, 25 appearances in the Premier League, 5 assists, 1 goal. In all comps, 1 goal, 7 assists for 37 in 37 appearances. What a transfer that was. Great decision making from Arsenal Football Club. To be fair to you, with Reiss Nelson, he's only got himself to blame slightly as much as I blame Arteta, because Arteta did tell him to go out on loan last year. He didn't want to. So as much as I criticize Arteta, and I believe with what you're saying, if the manager's told you, then it's a myth, innit? I mean, Willian seems to have got more. He might not have started post-Christmas, but he seems to have had a lot of comfortability there, Jonathan, man. You know, fans are going to cry about everything, man. Fans moan about everything. Certain fans are just irrational. And we can both agree on that. I mean, played significantly there. What, 72nd? What he got? He then started becoming a sub, but he's still getting minutes, bro. Man's getting 45, 90 there, 28. This is all past Christmas. He's still somewhat an ever-present. He got rubbed out, was on the bench on occasion, but he's still featuring. Like, I wouldn't quite say it's a myth. You know, it's crazy, man. What else you lot saying, man? Nelson should be loaned out with Willock. He should, but at the same time, look at his deal, man. Please stop spamming, guys. It leads to blocking. Don't ruin it. Eddie isn't cutting it right now. We would be best off shifting him and adding a buyback clause or sell on. People just wanted Balogun to get a chance. He was getting next to 0 minutes along with Martinelli, yet William was constantly in the team. I would hate to see Nelson leave the club. I've been following REISS and Maitland now since they were in the academy. I think he's a special player. He just needs a chance. Do you rate Pezzina? If you're talking about the Italian brother who just won the Euros, yeah, I like him still. E.g., it's not the Arsenal way to play on any over Willock. It might not be. It might be. You know, I don't think both should be in the really first-team players per se, regular first-teamers. I really rate Lacazette, leader, link-up play. Yeah, he's got that. But to play devil's advocate, I'd expect someone for the money we bought him for and the stature he has in the game to be able to do that. The good thing about Balogun is that he has a lot more to his game than just goal scoring, and that makes him more of a threat. It's the double-edged sword. You know, you see a lot of strikers that can do everything well apart from scoring goals, and you can only be as good as a striker if you're not scoring goals. But same way, strikers are judged on goals, but it's about what you're doing when you're not. So it's a catch-22, man. Very big catch-22. Buyback clauses are dream chasing. Best you'd hope for is a sell-on clause, or what's that clause where you can match an offer provided it's accepted. But who knows, man? Who knows? Let me see if there's any other Arsenal-related stuff going on. Raw. We inquired about Grealish last summer. You lot are bants, man. You lot are bants. We tried to inquire about Grealish last summer, and we were told it would take 80 million to take him off our hands. And now he's gone and played for his country in the Euro, so he's probably slapped an extra 20. I do want to see some outgoings though in relation to Arsenal, because I do think once we see some outgoings, we'll see some more incomings, really and truly. But I don't know for any of that. 1 hour, 6 minutes and 38 seconds. Inter Milan chairman speaks on Bellerin. There we have that. You heard it there, people. You heard it there. So let me just share the screen with you guys. Inter Milan chief speaks out on moves for Arsenal and Manchester United duo Hector Bellerin and Alex Telles. Giuseppe Morata has opened the door to signing both right back Hector Bellerin and Manchester United left back Alex Telles. Let's see. Let's scroll all the way down, man. Morata has now confirmed. Well, let me scroll the way down even more. Apparently, speaking to Sky Sports Italia on Saturday, Hector Bellerin is a player that we are following, but I can't say any more. Telles, I can't exclude this possibility, but we are making plans and we'll see. We're now planning to keep our best players after selling Hakimi. I mean, two very different statements about players. So does he think there's very much a chance of us getting Alex Telles? And in relation to Bellerin, we're following, we're hoping to get a deal done, but it kind of tells us what we know about Bellerin, that all one party is at loggerheads with the other two. Bellerin wants to leave. He's made his feelings clear. Apparently, personal terms are not a thing. You know, Arsenal want 15 to 20 million. Inter Milan want a loan with an option to buy, not an obligation, which doesn't help Arsenal because he'll return with a year left. If he has a great season in a World Cup year for them, that could be good. For us, if he's woeful at Inter Milan, then it's a him thing. You know, if he hits the ground running at Inter, it's great. It's probably an Arsenal thing. That marriage needed to end. So we'll have to see. But that tells me indirectly they're at two very different scales. It seems like Alex Telles, there might be a possibility, there might be legs to it, and Bellerin, there might be legs to it, but we're a long way away from seeing it as a possibility. So we'll have to see what happens. We know United want to do business and whatnot. Apparently, Arsenal are far more open to selling Bellerin. However, they are holding out for a 15 million fee. Should Inter pay their asking price, the Gunners have already been scouting for new right backs and have been linked with Brighton's Tariq Lamptey. What's it with us and Brighton players, eh? You know, let's just get Ben White over the line and see what happens in that regards. But yeah, man, you know, I think Bellerin needs to leave. He might hit it off and become a quality player and things like that, man. So it is what it is in that regards. So yeah. But I think we're a long way away from seeing Bellerin's confirmed deal. Again, I would like to see us force him out, really. I think he wants to force the issue in relation to Bellerin. You know, for me, At 26 years of age, if you go Italy and you can't learn how to defend, it's a you thing. I honestly think this is a divorce. I think if Bellerin leaves and goes Italy, we'll look at it and say, why didn't we see this Bellerin at Arsenal? What's going on there? And all of that sort of stuff. But it's like, as I keep giving examples, it's like being in an unhealthy relationship. You know, the man and the woman might split, and that man with a new woman or that woman with a new man, you might see them happy, buzzing. You might see them new lease of life, but together it's a calamity. You know, and I think that's that with Bellerin. I think for all reasons, there's plenty of reasons, as you lot know, to go and live in Italy. The language, the food, the way of life. You know, I would say as well, you're 26. But you should be looking at how you can prolong your career in Italy. I don't know what magic potions they've got, but they extend their playing careers. And I know Bellerin with his injury, is there ways of, you know, rehab around that and stuff like that? So there's a lot of reasons for Bellerin to want to go to Italy as well. Obviously, the fashion one as well that keeps being said is another thing. So we'll have to see what happens. But it's going to be a long summer. That one's going to drag out. For me, I want to see clarity over Bellerin because clearly the club's not going to bring in a right back until Bellerin leaves. So the quicker he leaves, the quicker we can find a right back, the final piece to the puzzle. Then you've got your Tierney, your Gabriel, your Ben White, etc. You know, keeper, there's still question marks, but you've got a proper solid base to build upon. You bring in a midfielder and the excuses run out. So we'll have to see what happens in that regards, folks. Man, thank you for presenting, but don't you think we need some good right back and then some good attacking midfielders and Smith Rowe to be a backup? Smith Rowe, I wouldn't say Smith Rowe is a backup. You know, whoever fights for the jersey and deserves the jersey at the time should hold on to it. I do agree. We do need an attacking midfielder, and it goes without saying. I've just been speaking about that. We need a right back. Maybe Williams' problems actually come from Arteta's inexperienced coaching. Derek, I'm not going to sit here and cap. I think Williams' faults are his own and no one else to blame. But I'm not going to lie. There's got to be a reason not a single attacker has excelled under Mikel Arteta for the whole season. And Willian, to his credit, is interesting you say that, because if you type in Willian online, you do, and go back to the older articles, obviously, you do see him consistently talking about the differences in training at Arsenal and somewhere and Chelsea. You hear him speak about, there was an interview in goal.com, I think he did. He spoke about his struggles and how he's learning new training tactics and things. And it probably has crippled him to a degree, but I think all the problems off with Willian. Like, everything is on Willian. You're at the age now where you should be, you know, there's certain players, like with Pepe, we knew it was the Arteta thing. You need to give him more chances and whatever. With Willian, I don't think it's that. I just think Willian, and he's looked unsure of himself, as you would lose your confidence. He's just not been levels, man. But there probably is a degree of that, man. Appreciate you, Paul. Hey, DG, brilliant chat as always. Would you take Van der Beek? I think he would do bits at Arsenal and suit us better than Man United. Smash the likes, people. Build the DG nation of domination. I appreciate that. I would not mind Van der Beek, of course, but it ain't gonna happen, is it? It's not gonna happen. Smash the likes button up, people. Hey, T, I ain't seen you in a hot minute, man. Back from church now. It's time to rewind. Appreciate that. Hope you had a good church service, my guy. And everyone else who went church, and well, if you didn't have to go to church, I hope you've just had a good, you know, good Sunday. Really, the sun is shining, man. It's a good day. Where are we at in terms of likes, people? We're only at 173, folks, man. We can do a bit better. What's going on there? It's frozen. That's that. Leave that there. I don't know, man. You draw the game. You don't score more goals than them. That's what happened. Does everyone seem to hate Ben White? I think it's a great signing because he adds creativity and helps build up. I'm not sure for adding creativity, but fair play. William's been woeful. Arteta's has handicapped our attack, though. We barely created enough chances last season. Facts. And that's the thing with Arsenal fans. Like, two truths can't live in the same realm. Like, it's always just one singular reason. There can't be many variables. I know football brings out the emotion and the primal instincts in all of us, but it gets a bit needy. It gets a bit illogical at times, if I'm completely honest with you. Where else? Twitch gang. Shout out to everyone who's following on Twitch. I see a couple of you have listened to my advice and hit the follow button on Twitch, man. It's not worth the price when Man United gets Varane for cheaper, in my opinion. I mean, there's different variables in it. Varane's got a year left on his deal, and I'm sure if you ask United, they would want to pay cheaper than 50 million. It's a fair price, though. You know, one's at the end of their career, year left, and it's a fantastic opportunity. One is an appreciating asset, even though I think Varane's the better defender, and Brighton don't want to sell. We all know where Premier Leagues are coming from. Real Madrid are broke, so you can see why it's not a thing. Of course, there's the variable we could have went with Varane, and we probably could afford his wages if you didn't give his wages to crap players, but the wages, the fact that we're not in Europe, you know, it's an issue. Why is it up to now, DG? Why is it up to now? Arteta hasn't found a good defensive partnership, and now we have a lot of defenders than other departments. What is your view? I'm going to be focusing on that on my live stream tomorrow, so I don't want to hold up on it. But I'd say he doesn't really trust him. You know, there's been a lot of things. He hasn't found the best midfield partnership. He hasn't trusted all the fullbacks. He hasn't even trusted all the strikers. You know, so I'd say there's a lot of he's been self-discovering his team and himself. And I would like to see him find a view around that. And obviously, you want to see more clarity over the centre halves, which I think we're seeing. I personally think Rob Holding is third choice. And then I think you've got Ben White and obviously Gabriel. But you never know. I think if Holding plays the way he does last season, then Gabriel sits on the bench and it's probably Ben White and him. But then you've got Marie, who you're going to need Marie's experience, man. Saying White and Lokonga are done. Who is the final piece of the summer transfers? Jimmy, not a clue. But again, you need to be looking for a creative number 8 or 2 number 8s. You need to be looking for a 10. I need a right back personally. Pardon me. And then when you do this business and get it done, then we can keep our eyes and ears open to if other situations that we didn't plan for, eventualities we didn't plan for, become available that we can exploit in the market. Because there are some players that become available or situations you find yourselves in that you might not have. Last season was us where we had a free hit at hour, really, because other teams didn't take a chance. And I'm sure there's many other examples of such. Ben White is a solid addition, but people only hate him because of his price tag. That's the premium you have to pay with English players, unfortunately. Facts. Interesting comments, people. Very interesting comments. I don't know why he can't find it. And Arteta, there's no excuses. You should, you know, again, I think there's too much. I want to see less rotation beyond what we need to do. I want to see more clarity over who is your best 11, because I think he's been allowed a free hit, and that free hit and free excuses needs to run out now, isn't it? It's everyone's got to pull their weight now. The gloves are off for everybody connected with this club, people. It is what it is in that regards, firmly. I can't sit here and cap to you lot. So yeah, man, you know, get the business done early, and then it is what it is. Let me see if there's any other thing. Wow. Camavinga's priority is to sign for Real Madrid. The player is willing to wait for 1 more year, then sign for free. Must be nice when players want to do all of that. Let me see if there's any other Arsenal. Apparently, the Times have reported Arsenal have offered a 4-year. Ben White has been offered a 4-year contract by Arsenal, which will see his weekly wage double to more than 120 a week. Bro, mad thing. Wonder what's going to be the next name that we're linked with in relation to transfers and that, because it's just the same names getting recycled. I'm waiting for another name to be thrown in. Don't quite see such yet. But yeah, that's that. Would you rather we bring in Neves and Basuma, Prem-proven players, or Locatelli and Guido Rodriguez, non-proven but maybe more talent? I'd rather Basuma and Locatelli out of both of them names, so a bit of both. Do you think Arsenal will rise again with Arteta? I don't know, man. I can't predict the future. I mean, it's going to have to try hoping it. I hope so. Holding gets a lot of hate. He's not the answer. You know, he's not the answer. He does need to improve off the ball. He does let smaller players like Jota and Raheem Sterling out jumping for headers or go on march. But he's definitely had a decent season. He's an all right squad player. As we move to hopefully being a Champions League club and whatnot, only time will tell if he's of the level to go to come on that journey with us. But last season, he weren't the worst player. And he's one of them players people do love to just not rate. I'm not saying you have to say he's amazing. He's not amazing, but he can do a job. I don't know. How do you give moderators to people on Twitch? When you lot tell me how to do that, I can make it work, my guy. I don't know how. You got the Twitch gang, though. I don't know how. It's not even called mod, is it? I just don't know how to do it, bro. So yeah, man, I can't lie. There's no more questions. So with that, people, we've been here for an hour and 19 minutes. I can't lie to you. I'm gonna get out of here, people. Enjoy what's left of your Sunday. Please make sure you hit the like button and you check out the pinned message. I'll be back again tomorrow at 11:30. So hold off until then. Yeah, man. You know, I'll clip up some of this live stream when I have a chance. Check out the rest of the content. And yeah, man, I'm gonna love and leave you lot. Enjoy what's left of your Sunday, people. On that note, I'm just gonna leave you with my goal, and then I'm out of here, really and truly. Because why not? It's a great Sunday over in the UK. We need to see a great goal.
Against this right back, Charlie.